Welcome to another episode of Torque Talk. I'm Caesar, and today I've invited our resident American racing expert, Chris Plump, to explain how to measure a vehicle for custom wheels.
Hi, this is Chris with American Racing Custom Shop. I'm here to measure this 69 Camaro for the proper fitment of wheels and tires. Before you get started on measuring wheels for your car, there's a few tools you're going to need to make the job much easier. One will be standard straight edge. Having a yardstick helps as well. Tape measure, some washers and bolts, and a caliper. With these basic hand tools, you'll be able to do all the measurements you need to figure out what fits your car. The first thing you need to know about fitting a set of custom wheels for your car is you need to know what width the wheel is. And a common misconception on wheel width is measuring from the outer edge to outer edge. When a wheel is advertised, it's actually advertised from bead seat to bead seat. So an 8-inch wide advertised wheel is 8-inch from this spot to this spot here. The overall actual width of that wheel is really going to be 9 inches wide. You have to add a 1/2 inch for bead seat on either side. So that's very important to take into consideration when you're fitting a set of wheels, because if you don't add that extra inch of actual width, that can throw off your measurements quite a bit and cause fitment issues. Okay, the next step to measuring your wheels is to figure out the backspacing. If you have an existing wheel, this is really an easy process to do when the tire's not on the wheel, because you need to be able to put the straight edge flat against the mounting surface of the wheel here from edge to edge. From there, you'll just take a tape measure and then measure straight down to the mounting pad to get your backspace measurement. And in this case, we're looking at about 4.5 backspace on this particular wheel here. The first process of measuring for backspace will be on the rear of this Camaro. So what we've done is we've taken a straight edge and we've actually attached it to the rotor mounting surface with some washers and lug nuts. That way it holds it in place so you can have both hands free to work your tape measure. So now with that in place, we're going to measure into the first thing we hit. That'll give us our backspace clearance. In this case, we have 7 inches of room to work with on the inside before we hit that first obstruction. Measuring to the outside, to the fender lip opening, there's a total of 15 inches. So we know we have 8 inches out and we'll have 7 inches in. So that'll give us our overall width and how much room we have to work going in and going out on this car. One key is to look for any possible obstructions or anything that might stick out, like a fender bolt or a control arm or shock. In this case, it's the inner fender. That'll be the first thing, so we're good to go with the 7 inches and 8 inches on this car. The back of the car is much easier to measure than the front because you really have just up and down travel. It's less dynamic. So besides the back spacing, the only other thing you need to really look for is caliper clearance. Usually in the rear applications, the calipers don't hang out very far, but since you're here, you should probably check that. In this case, these calipers are nice and flush, so there'll be no clearance issues there with the wheels. Okay, now to the front of the Camaro. It's pretty much the same process as the rear, but there's a few more things to take into consideration with the brakes and with the suspension travel and turning radius. So first things first, we want to measure for backspace. So once again, put the straight edge against the brake, hold it down with a few washers, grab your tape measure, and measure for overall backspace. In this case, we've got about 9 inches of room to the inside, and we have about 5 inches of room to the outer fender opening. So that'll give us how much we have to work with. So now we have to figure out the backspacing to fit that wheel in there. Now we need to measure for caliper clearance. This is really important for aftermarket disc brakes with large multi-piston calipers. So to do this, we'll take a straight edge and place that flat against the face of the caliper, and then we'll measure in to the mounting surface of the wheel. In this case, there's 1.25 inches of caliper protrusion. So we need to remember that to make sure that this caliper doesn't hit the back of the spokes of the wheel. So that's a very important measurement on disc brakes. Now we need to measure the overall diameter of this brake package. Once again, larger diameter rotor, larger caliper. We need to make sure all this will fit underneath the new wheels that we're doing. So to do that, we need to measure from the hub center point to the top of the caliper. That'll give us the distance there. So we'll get our straight edge, place that against there, and then we'll measure to the top of the caliper. In this case, we're looking at 7 1/4 inches from the center of the hub to the top of the caliper. And then when you multiply that by 2 to get your overall diameter of the brake and wheel package. Now it's time to measure the hub on this vehicle. What we want to do is we need to measure both the hub diameter and how tall the hub is on this vehicle. Those are two things we need to know to make sure that the center cap will clear and we have enough hub clearance on the wheels. So let's start with the hub diameter. For that, I'm going to use a caliper to measure the diameter of the hub. So once you measure that, you'll take that information down. In this case, we're looking at 2.32 inches. Okay, now it's time to measure the hub length on these brakes. To do that, we'll take a straight edge and a tape measure and put that straight edge right against the end of the hub and then measure to the mounting surface. So measure into that. So these hubs are about 1.5 inches tall. So we'll need to know that to make sure that there's center cap clearance and enough hub clearance on the wheels.
Thanks for the education, Chris. As you can see, measuring a vehicle for custom wheels is easy once you know what you're doing. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos like this. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to drop a comment below. I hope to see you soon for another episode of Torque Talk. See you then.